jealous of guys like Adam and John, Because there are two types of names in this world, Let's say your name is John or Adam. You come up on stage, you say your name, you jump into your jokes. My name is Birungi. That shit don't work for me. I'm telling you, every time I meet people, they ask me, hey, what's your name? I go, Birungi. They go, what? Oh my God, Birungi? Say it again. Say it again. Oh my God, that's such a beautiful name. What does it mean? Please tell us, what does Birungi mean? What is the legend of Birungi? I'll tell you what Birungi means. Birungi is a Ugandan name that means good luck. It's a simple translation. Birungi means good luck. Good luck getting a job. Good luck getting through the airport. Which I think is weird. It's weird that Birungi cannot get me through the airport, but Birungi can get me a job at the airport. Some of you are looking at me like, I thought he looked familiar. SeaTac. Gate 36. Wink at me next time. I'll throw an extra bag in there for you. I'll take care of Grandma. And make sure she gets to her seat. African names, I gotta be honest though, I think they're extra. There's a lot going on. All right? They're long, there's too many consonants, too many vowels, too many turns, too many twists, too many exclamation marks, too many sounds. And you know who I blame for this shit? Our parents. Because they give us these names without consideration for the rest of the world. I'll give you an example. I have an African friend of mine. I know he's African because he's my brother. This guy's name is, I won't say it, but I'll spell it for you. It's spelled M-A-N-I-G-A. White people, I know you said it. M-A-N-I-G-A. One of those letters is silent. You just got to figure out which one. M-A-N-I-G-A. This guy must be a nightmare for anyone who works at Starbucks. I can't imagine how this order goes. I have a Frappuccino here for, Oh my God. Well, hold up. I have a Frappuccino here for my, oh my God, I should have called in sick today. Come on, try. Oh my God, I'm about to lose my job. I have a Frappuccino for my black friend. White people, do not try retelling that joke at work. It's not gonna go too well. You're gonna go like, I saw a comedian, his name was my nigga. HR will be like, right this way. It's your last day, Travis. I think names are important. You gotta be careful the names you give to your kids. Like my wife and I, we're talking about that right now. We're like, yo, if we have kids, what are we gonna do? For context, my wife has all American names. And I have all African names, so we're like, what are we doing? I told her I have a solution. If we have 2 kids, I'll give the first kid all American names, and I'll give the second kid all African names, and I'll see which one goes the furthest in life. Seattle, I'll come back in 20 years and let you know how that went. You guys drinking? Make some noise if you're drinking. Cheers, yeah. I never understood American drinking culture when I moved here. I moved here from Uganda, and I did some research on you guys, and according to the movies, Americans are always getting fucked up. You've seen the movies. Superbad. Hangover 1, 2, and 3. I arrived here on 4th of July. Do you know how confusing it is to arrive in a country where everyone's blackout drunk during the day? I was like, oh my God, did I go to Ireland? But you know what they say, when in America, do like the Irish do. So I arrived at the airport with my bags straight. I went to a place like this, like a bar like this, and I was like, hey, bartender, I just came from Uganda. I'm happy to be here. Please get me the best American beer you have. And he's like, welcome to America. I just got to see some ID. Confidently, I whip out my ID. I show it him. Looks down, looks up. He's like, son, you got to be 21 to drink beer in America. I'm sorry, I'm asked you to leave. I was confused. For context, I'm from Uganda where the drinking age is 18. Maybe. Fast forward, I go to college. My American friends, when they'll turn 21, they'll go fucking crazy. Theme song for my college days was Lil Jon's Shots, Shots, Shots. I was like, yo, what's the big deal? I've been drinking since I was 10. So I had to do some research, and I got to the bottom of it. You know why these two cultures are so different when it gets to alcohol? It comes down to the parents. It comes down to the parents. Yeah. In America, you had American parents yelling at their kids. They're like, hey, Travis. You look like a Travis, yeah. Hey, Travis, eat up your food. There's starving kids in Africa. At the same time, you had African parents yelling at their kids like, hey, drink up, there's sober kids in America. We even had UNICEF commercials. I saw them. They'll be like big celebrities who come out. They'll be like, this is Travis. He's been sober his entire life. You can help him. For less than $2 a day. You can buy him a 40. Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thank you for riding with me on that. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun being a Ugandan comedian. You know, it's like I get to share my world with you guys. But sometimes I'm hesitant to tell people, but I have to if I'm on stage, because if I don't do it, weird shit happens. I've been to a show like this, and I'm performing. It looks like we're having a good time. Then halfway through, I'll hear a whisper. Usually goes something like this. Where do you think it's from? I think it's from Jamaica. Oh no, I think it's from North Carolina. None of the above. But when people find out I'm from Uganda, they have a lot of questions. One question I get a lot of the time, they ask me like, hey, Birungi, how did you get here? Like, how does one go from Uganda to America? How does one go from Uganda to Seattle, Washington? I'll tell you. I went to high school in Uganda, and right before I graduated, I go to my dad. I was like, hey, Dad, I want to spread my wings. I want to go to Seattle, Washington. And he's like, no, my son, don't do it. I was like, what's the problem, Dad? He goes to his bedroom and comes back with a Seattle Times newspaper. I had no idea that this guy had a Seattle Times subscription in Uganda. And this particular paper had a story. You might have heard of it, especially if you're in Washington. It was a story about a sex scandal involving a high school teacher. Oh, yeah? Her name was Mary Kay. Okay, some people know. Okay, for those who do not know, at the time, Mary Kay was a 40-year-old white woman, a high school teacher, who banged one of her students, a 14-year-old Samoan boy. My dad shows it to me. He's like, look, my son, Americans are crazy. Look what will happen to you. I was like, Dad, I think you just made up my mind for me. Like, what kind of threat is that? Don't go to America. You lose your virginity. Needless to say, I flew here on Virgin Airlines. So I tell people, but sometimes I'm hesitant, especially off stage because I don't know how people are going to react, all right? Like I was at a fundraiser recently. I met this lady. We're having a discussion. It's all going good until she started to ask one too many questions. She was like, oh, I noticed you have a little bit of an accent. Where are you from? I was like, Uganda. She's like, Uganda? That's in Africa. I was like, you guessed it. She's like, oh my God, what kind of neighborhood did you grow up in? I was like, a black neighborhood. Yeah. And then she hit me with one of those. She goes, oh. Like, where you from? Where you from?
Here.
Yeah, here? See, what town?
Lake Stevens.
Lake Stevens. You tell someone, hey, I'm from Lake Stevens, and they go, oh. Did you feel that? You know what they're saying when they say that? They think your life is different from theirs. They're like, oh, you live over there, we live over here. But growing up in Africa, I'll tell you, my life ain't no different from yours. And I'll prove it to you, down to the smallest things. Kids, we like the same shit. Doesn't matter where you grew up. Toys, food, parents, that's all we like. Down to the smallest detail. I'll prove it to you. Clap your hands if growing up in America, you hated going to school sometimes, right? Anybody? Same. Different continent, hated that shit. Clap your hands if you went as far as pretending to be sick so you would not go to school. Yeah. Me too. I used to do that all the time. My go-to was malaria. Yeah, I work up a fever. I'm like, it's on CNN. It must be true. COVID was not available at the time. Worked like a charm. Stay home, play with my toys. Worked until a man came along. He actually came from this city. You might have heard of him. Bill Gates. With his anti-malaria medicine. What kind of witchcraft is this? Bill Gates may be a philanthropist to some of you, but that man ruined 6 days for millions of African kids. What I'm trying to say is, fuck Bill Gates. You can tell him I said it. I bet his wife agrees with me. Was it something I said? Yeah, so, I tell people, but again, lots of questions. The one I've been getting as a comedian is, once people hear my story, they're like, oh, Ugandan comedian. Right after I get off stage, someone will accost me in the back and they ask me, hey, Birungi, great performance. By the way, we noticed your English. It's really good. They're like, did you speak English before you moved to America? Short answer, yes. Long answer, I learned my English from movies, specifically James Bond movies. Because I don't know if you've seen James Bond, he doesn't mince his words. You see it when they catch him and they ask him, what's your name? He goes, Bond. James Bond. Firm, clear. That's the guy you want to learn English from. But James Bond almost ruined my chances of coming to America. I was on the plane. I was watching James Bond movies. I'm reciting them. I arrive at the airport. Immigration officer's like, step forward, sir. What's your name? And I'm thinking, James Bond energy, James Bond energy. Birungi. Birungi. He's like, welcome to America. I just got to ask you a couple questions. What's the reason for you visiting America? And I'm thinking, James Bond energy, James Bond energy. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. You guys laugh. He did not like that. He's like, I'm going to ask you one more time. What's the reason for visiting and how long are you going to be here? I'm like, I'm going to be here for as long as it takes. I'm on a mission impossible. He's like, step aside, sir. Do you have any weapons on you? I'm like, this watch could kill you from 40 yards away. Comedy shows are great. One thing that happens at the end of comedy shows is people want to give compliments, which is good. If you got some nice shit to say, I want to hear it. Keeps me young, keeps me healthy, but sometimes I do not know where the compliments are going. Like I did a show in Tacoma a couple days ago. A lady comes up to me after the show. She's like, "Oh my God, you're the Ugandan comedian." I was like, "That was all my material." And then she lights up. She's like, "You're from Uganda? Oh my God, you're from Uganda? My sandals are from Uganda." Someone in Uganda made these sandals. I was like, "Lady, I don't know what to do with this information." It's not like I walk up to Chinese people and I'm like, "Hey, Laughs Comedy Club, y'all been great. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you."